Hello and welcome to the Geek Press podcast. Sorry about the lateness, but the holiday cheers have just gotten us all up in a tizzy. I'm Noah Garcia, and today on the podcast, me and my co host Lewis talk about James Gunn and the future of the DC film universe. We go into some recent Twitter drama and just get a little chaotic and off topic. Hope you enjoy the listen, and don't forget to like us and subscribe and follow on all the social medias across the board. Enjoy.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. My name is Luis Gutierrez, and as always, welcome to episode 34 of the Geek Press podcast. I am joined by my co-host, Mr. James Gunn, and today we are going to talk about a series of stuff. Mr. Gunn, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm James Gunn. I'm the current creative head at DC Comics, where we fire everyone you love.
Thank you, Mr. Gunn.
That's all I have to. Yeah. I gotta go do some crack. Excuse me. Hey, get out of my podcasting booth. Sorry, some guy with white hair was next to my mic. I don't know. Anyways, I'm Noah Garcia, friend of the show, co-host. And I don't know who that was by my mic, but hopefully they didn't say anything that's not real because this is all parody and nobody we know does drugs. Jokes.
except Noah, he's like the biggest crackhead I know.
It's how I smile around the holidays. But yeah, welcome to the podcast where we talk about things. And that's pretty great. Lewis, what have you been watching? What have you been listening to? How are you doing?
So I am doing pretty swell, if I say so myself.
Mhm,
Um, let's see here. Let me pull up my. I finished a couple of shows
mhm.
this week. Give me 1 second. I'm pulling it up right now.
You know what? While you pull that up, I want to make a comment on how I love that you have like a list of like movies and shows that you finished.
Thank you.
Like there's something like fun about it. It's like I can look back on the year and see like, oh, I did watch this. I did watch this. And I tried to do it. And my list, from what little I can remember, my list was not very long. But I was like, as I was going through it, I was like, "Oh yeah, I did see that. I did do that." So it's if you guys, I think anybody listening should try that just to see like what you remember and be like, "Oh, I love that. I hated that," because it's a fun little like recounting of the year to yourself.
Yeah, it's really nice. I've been
Mhm,
what gave me the idea was that I remember when we were heading into 2020,
mhm,
I saw a lot of people like, oh, here are my here were like the best movies of like the decade. Here was the best movie of
mhm,
2010, 2011. And in my head, and I'm like, there's no fucking way you remember watching all these movies, you know? And I told
mhm,
myself, I was like, I'm gonna do this every year now to see, and then that way by 2030, if I'm still alive by then, I can like I can reflect and be like, oh, here were some of the better stuff. I originally too wanted to do books and video games,
mhm,
but the thing is, I don't read too many books. I read a lot of comics and I read a lot of mangas, but it's
mhm,
just it would be annoying to put like Batman 130, Batman 131, Batman 132. It doesn't have really the same kind of like effect in my opinion. And same
mhm.
with mangas, it would be like Chainsaw Man 2, Chainsaw Man 3, and I was
We,
gonna
we
do
you could always put like Chainsaw Man one dashed volume 4 or something.
yeah, I think next year I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna kind of tweak it a little bit more. And then
Mhm.
this year and I was also gonna put video games as well. And I
Mm.
did put video games, but here's the thing. Um for like a good couple of months I didn't play games, and when I was playing games, I was doing it for work. So I didn't really count that, but I was like, no, that still counts. I still played the game. I still beat the game, you know? And there was like I have a couple of games on my list, but it's not like nothing really worth like talking about. But yeah, so next
Mhm.
year I'm gonna do stuff that I read and games as well, just so I can like keep a track of what I've done. But I also have a list of the movies I saw this year as well. But
Mhm.
I finished oh, I didn't put Cuphead on there. Hold on, give me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem.
Uh
I
Go for it.
No, I was about to say that I Cuphead is so cute. I've never I love the animation. The game looks hard. I've never played it, but
Oh, the game is fucking difficult.
my nephew loves Cuphead, so whenever I see it, I'm like, "Oh, that's so cute."
So
Just like
okay,
random things about the devil.
I finished JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone
Mhm,
Ocean Part 3. I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about it. I was not a fan of that ending. Um
mhm,
especially because this was supposed to be like the bow to wrap up the entire series, and it's like, I'm going to be vague because Noah here hasn't seen it yet, so we're going to talk about it
mhm,
probably on the next week's episode when he finishes it. But Noah's only seen this season, which I've advised him to go back and watch the other seasons because they like dive into like some lore heavy stuff from prior seasons. And there's one thing in particular that I didn't, well, there's a couple things I didn't like. Um but it was just the fact that like there was continuity that they just threw out the window. And granted, that's the thing that happens in JoJo, they forget all the time. Like I think his name's I'm blanking on the creator's name, but he always does this. But it was just so prevalent in the last season. It's like, how do you forget that? It wasn't even like in Dragon Ball. It's like, oh yeah, sometimes we forget that like the
mhm,
Saiyans turn into giant monkeys with tails. No, it wasn't a small little detail. Like it was like a big, like it was the main part of one of the seasons, you know? And
mhm,
I'm like, okay, you just threw that out the window. And the ending was just, it was unnecessarily confusing in my opinion.
mhm,
And I had to like watch a YouTube video on it, and I was like, this sucked. I was like, so basically at the end, this happened.
mhm,
And then like I saw people on Twitter, these were like the anime like fanboys, fangirls. You could like it. I'm not gonna bash you for hating on him.
mhm,
But it's like they're like, this was like the best ending possible. Thank you. Like I can't believe this was as good as I thought it would. I'm like, this wasn't good. Like I don't know what you're talking about. Like I'm not gonna tell them that, 'cause I don't want to be a dick and just start arguments online with strangers. But I was like, how do you like this? And then a few days later, I get a text from you saying, was the ending that bad? And I'm like, okay, I guess people are starting to come around to it now.
mhm. Because, I know that you say that, but all the people on my timeline that watch it, they posting, like, really sad memes, like, "Oh my god, what the fuck is up with this ending?" Like, I saw nothing but disappointment on my end.
And here's the thing too,
Mhm.
without giving anything away. If you've watched JoJo from season one or any fucking season, you would know that they're not afraid to kill off a main character. They do it all the
Mhm,
time. And there's plenty of main character deaths in this show. Some hit
mhm,
harder than others. And then but I'm cool with that. I've always been a fan of like, if you're gonna kill off your fucking your Tony Stark, your Jon Snow, at least make it count. Make like, give that death a good purpose. Give them a hero's
mhm,
death, or have that further the plot in one way or another. So I'm always down to kill off your main character if needed. But
mhm,
this one right here, I was just like, damn, all right, like this is the route you went. And but yeah, I finished Stone Ocean. I'll keep it at that now. And then I finished Inside Job, which is a
mhm,
lot of fun. I think you should watch that show. It's really good, especially this season. They like, a big part of it is like a work life balance and like
mhm,
parental trauma. And yeah, it was a nice fun season. I laughed a lot. It was probably one of the better shows I saw this year. And then
mhm.
I had watched Cuphead season 1, and I I just stopped watching it for whatever reason, and I went back and finished season 1. So that was cool. But yeah, those are the things I've been watching as of this week. I need to
I love
hop
that
back
for
on
you.
Wednesday so I could do the little
Mhm.
TikTok dance like everyone else is doing. And then yeah.
I got into, like, a tizzy with my nephew because he was just, like he was making fun of the song, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's from Wednesday, huh?" And he was like, "Yeah, NGL total cringe," and I was just like, "Oh, why is it cringy?" He's like, "Oh, well, it's emo. Emos are so dumb. They're so sad all the time." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know it was emo. Have you watched the show?" He was like, no." And I was like, "Then how do you know? How do you know?" And then we got into a fun argument.
I gotta side with your nephew on that one because if you just watch it, like, yeah, it's emo.
Yeah, but that's it's Wednesday. What do you expect?
I need to see the
Mhm,
show. I saw like maybe like the first, it was like 2 episodes or whatever, but there was one part where I nearly like just turned it off, um,
Mhm,
because I was like, oh, this is what they're doing. But I hear the show's pretty good. It was like Wednesday's roommate. She was like, "Oh,
mhm.
here are the mermaids. Here are the vampires. These are the cool kids. That's Jay. Jay has a crush on
Mhm.
Vanessa, but Vanessa doesn't know." And I'm like, "Oh God, it's fucking Riverdale."
It sounds like adults writing teens.
Yeah, and I was like, "Oh
Mhm,
my God, like, do I really want to fucking watch this?" And so then, as this, like, I was like, I just push through this. I kept that to myself.
mhm,
As I was watching it with my girlfriend, and then I was like, okay, it ended pretty like at least that episode ended like pretty solid. Also, fun
mhm.
fact, they I recognized some of the film location, and they filmed some scenes at the Warner Brother backlot.
Oh, you've been there before
Yeah.
with, your lovely girlfriend for your
Mm-hmm.
anniversary or something, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So
I love that.
she spotted it right before I did, but
Mhm.
like I was able to notice it like literally maybe like a second before she like a word got out of her mouth. Like it clicked in our heads like around the same time.
You know, I saw a really interesting TikTok that was like, the reason Wednesday doesn't work as a show, it's one of those. It's one of those
Mm,
TikTok, is that I thought this was interesting, and you can say this whether or not this is you think it's true or not. That the reason Wednesday doesn't work as a show is because the Adams family shines the most when they're contrasted against the normal world. They're the weirdos, they're the creepy guys that love like darkness, and then you contrast them to like the sunny, shiny suburbia. Like they're the outcasts, and that will like brings them like that conflict between what's normal and what's them is what keeps things interesting. And you send this girl off to a magical school, and then it's less about like, oh look, those differences, and more about like, oh, she's so much more edgier and special and magical than the rest of you guys. Like it's, and I thought that was an interesting take on it. I don't know if I agree with it, but I thought that was interesting because of the lack of that contrast between what's normal and what's abnormal is what kind of makes the show inherently not really true to the Adams family values, which I thought that was interesting. I don't know if I agree with it, but I think it's an interesting thing to explore.
I have to disagree a little bit because it's like
Mhm.
you could have your cake and not eat it too sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
And they tackle shit like that in the show. Like again,
Mhm.
I've only seen maybe like two episodes,
Mhm.
but it's like one of them they're like they're at the fucking the high school of Wizardly, whatever the fuck that Disney show is. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about.
the Wizards of Waverly Place?
Yeah, like they're right there. Well, they're not there. I'm just making a joke. But like
Mhm.
the episode, like they're at their high school, and then they're like, okay, we got to go into the normal town, and then it's like the normal people are like being prejudiced, being like, it's
Mhm.
like subtlety, like commentary for like real world shit. Um, on
Oh,
like
wait, do you mean
Wednesday.
Halloween Town?
I don't. I again. It's been maybe like a couple of weeks since I've watched the show. Um, but like it was like a part where she goes into the main town and they're like, "Oh, you're one of those freaks, aren't you?" And she's like, "Just leave me the fuck alone." And so
Mm.
shit like that. How the fuck? Why are we talking about Wednesday?
I don't you know what? You started it, and then I prodded it on even more.
But yeah, Inside Job. Go watch Inside Job. Go watch
The
Stone Ocean.
the
Cuphead
point
season
of
one is
that
good, and I
Mhm.
gotta watch season 2 and 3 of Cuphead now.
The point of that whole thing was to convince everyone to go watch Inside Job.
Yeah, go watch Inside Job and go watch JoJo's part 1 through 5, and then
Mhm.
tell me how Stone Ocean dropped the ball. How it started good, and then also too, last complaint. I hate it. I fucking hate it. How Netflix was like, we're gonna drop these episodes in increments like that. It just ruined the hype of the show. Like,
Mhm.
it was just so fucking bad.
Would you prefer to them to do it like an episode on a weekly basis or just like one big drop?
Either do one big drop or a weekly basis. And Netflix has done
Mhm.
the weekly basis thing before. Like one of the shows, like My Guest Needs No Introduction. It's like a
Mhm.
late night talk show host show. They did weekly drops on that. So I'm like, why
Mhm.
were they so special?
I don't know. Maybe it was just because of the way the show is. It was more like more of like a talk show, I guess, and then it's like different between like something that's more bingeable.
Yeah, I could see that. But it was just yeah. Okay, that was my last thing. What about you? What's
But
new with you?
but you know, I know lots of people have like issues with the way Netflix handles like anime. So I believe you when you talk about like how that wasn't executed well.
Mhm.
Just to reiterate what I talked about last week, I finished Lookism because I was starting to watch it.
Uh-huh.
It's the show about the kid that's picked on, and he wakes up and he has like a hot K-pop singer body, and he can switch between the two. And it was interesting as far as like comic to anime adaptations. I thought it was pretty solid. I love that because sometimes when they adapt the comic to anime or something, I feel like the translation's lost sometimes. I'm just like, you saw what was on the page. Like, what's going on here? How could you have the blueprint? But I thought this was pretty good. I was
Okay,
happy with it.
would you recommend it to others?
I would. I really
Okay.
would. And what else? I haven't really been watching anything. This is gonna sound silly. I rewatched some old episodes of Bleach, the
Mhm.
anime, and Bleach is it's really good. I think
Did the
it's good.
reboot already happen or like
No,
the
I
okay.
haven't the faintest idea. I was just watching some old episodes and I was like, "Oh yeah, I remember why this was like one of the big 3 of anime and manga." Cuz it was what was it? It was One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach, and they were the big 3 for like the early 2000s. And then I was just like, "Oh yeah, I remember why I liked this. It's entertaining and the battle music slaps." And it kind of plays into those anime tropes that aren't as prevalent as they are today, but I was like, "Oh, this is not too bad." So I enjoyed that.
Well,
And
oh, keep
mhm,
going, keep going.
as for music, I SZA dropped an album. I've never listened. If you guys don't know SZA, she was the one who did like "All the Stars Are Going," like that Star song with Kendrick Lamar for Black Panther.
That's like the only
Uh,
song I know from her.
yeah, exactly. That's why that's the one song most people know from her. But she dropped an album called SOS. It's really good. It's like surprisingly good. I just listened to it. I was like, oh, okay, I'll listen to some songs. It was a banger. If you like R&B, if you like that kind of pop music, I would say definitely listen to that album. It was a lot of fun.
Hmm.
And I endorse it unless I find out she's a horrible person, in which case
And then
I
you
will.
double endorse it.
Yeah, I double endorse it. She did nothing wrong. And then when anybody tries to give like fair criticism, I'm just gonna be like misogynist, like just shut them down.
Alright, anything else?
No, nothing
Okay.
that
Well,
comes to mind.
I got
But
I got some breaking news on how
breaking news!
Elon Musk is killing social media again.
Oh my gosh, our Twitter update. Twitter.
This literally was tweeted maybe like this was tweeted at 9 a.m., 9:37 a.m.
Mhm.
And for listeners, it is currently 10:47 a.m. So this is like an
Oh my
hour.
gosh.
So Twitter support has tweeted this, okay? And I saw
Mhm.
this because I have Twitter notifications on for some people, and they were like just talking shit about this. Um, we recognize now it's a series of tweets, okay? It's about
Mhm.
4 tweets. Tweet number one. We recognize many of our users are active on other social medias. However, we will no longer allow free promotion of certain social media platforms on Twitter. That's tweet one. Tweet two. Specifically, we will remove accounts created solely for the purpose of promoting other social media platforms and content that contain links or usernames for the following platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Truth Social, Tribal, No Store, and Post. That's tweet two. Tweet three. We will still allow cross posting content from social media platforms. Posting links or usernames to other platforms not listed above are are also in violation of this policy. So essentially, if you're like, "Hey, go follow me on TikTok or go follow me on whatever," you're gonna get banned. You're gonna get banned on Twitter now.
Oh damn. Hey, I can still post my YouTube links. It sounds like.
Yeah, they didn't say that. Like, yeah, that's is that technically a social media?
I don't think it is.
Because you could like talk to people. Like, there's technically like a forum with like the
You
comment
know what?
section.
I feel like talking, like socializing, needs to be the main priority of the app, and I don't think that's the main priority of YouTube. It's like posting the videos. So I feel like that's fine, but that's what is the point behind this? Like what is the intent? But the thing
I
is,
have
I'm
no
seeing an
idea.
article right now. I'm seeing an article and it says you can post these if it's paid promotion though.
So give us fucking money or get your account
Basically,
terminated.
basically, it's like you can't post that Facebook link, but if you pay us, we'll post this. Which is interesting that they release this information in the middle of like the FIFA World Cup, so that people are gonna be distracted and they're gonna be like, "What? What happened? What's happening?" Like we're not because we're not football people, but
Yeah, that's fucking wild,
Mhm.
right? That like Elon is just dude. There's just every week it proves how much of a fucking idiot he is. You know?
And it's just like, what is happening? It
Uh,
just doesn't get better. And did you hear that apparently he disabled Twitter Spaces after arguing with some journalists?
I was gonna talk about that. Did you listen to that?
I listened to a few recaps about that. I didn't actually listen to the
Okay, so
Mhm,
um, so a quick rundown for people who are unaware.
mhm,
There was this Twitter account run by a college student, I believe, where the student had this whole account um devoted to tracking millionaires on their private jets, and this
mhm,
person would use public information. A lot. Here's the thing too about public information: you just got to go out of your way to get it. That's the whole
mhm,
thing. You really, and this person used public information to track down their jets and be like, oh, just I'm just gonna use Noah for the sake of conversation. But
mhm.
like Noah flew from LAX to Burbank, which
I
is like
did.
for people who are unaware of Southern California, LAX to Burbank is maybe like no more than like an hour drive, give or take, and
Mhm,
the main criticism is like back then it was like, why are celebrities using their planes to like order Chipotle and go home, kind of
mhm.
thing. Or like Noah flew from LAX to fucking to JFK Airport. I don't even know if that's a real airport. I just made that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it just stuff like that. So they were using real time data, and Musk has, prior to buying Twitter, had publicly kind of like, I don't remember if he did or not, but
Mhm,
he threw shade at that account in one way or another. I,
mhm,
I don't I don't remember the specifics. So he's the owner of Twitter. He
mhm,
banned that account because he said, quote unquote, they were doxing him. And now for people who are unaware of the term doxing, that's like when you reveal someone's address or like where their current locations. So like I'm about to dox Noah right now. He lives on 123 Sesame Street. And there
mhm.
you go. That's where he
Son of a
lives.
bitch.
I've doxed him. But
But the thing is that doxing inherently within the process itself uses like secret or sensitive information,
yeah.
statements, like exposure. Like this has to be private. It exposes private information in order for people to get to know where this person
hmm
is. But as you said, all the information this journalist was using, this kid was using, was public.
And then here's the kicker. Okay. So then that college student got their account suspended, and then there was a bunch of
Mhm,
journalists who were their beats, which is like the stuff that they cover, just giving you some journalism lingo, were Musk. A lot of
mhm,
Musk reporters were being critical of Musk, saying, "Yo, what the fuck? Aren't you talking about free speech? Yada yada yada." He was suspending all of their accounts, and
mhm,
then there were people who were reporting on the college student who got suspended, but were linking to like essentially like their webpage or like the information. He
mhm,
was suspending them too because he was like, "You guys are doxing me," and so,
mhm.
which is not the case. They were just reporting on the news. So flash
And
forward. Oh, go
mhm.
for it. Go for it.
I was about to say that I think it's interesting that he's a dumbass. Continue. I
Yeah.
forgot what I was gonna say.
So
Go
so
ahead.
flash. I don't know the exact timeline of this.
Mhm,
So like flash forward a little bit. It was no more than maybe like a couple days. A bunch of journalists are in a Twitter space, and for those who
mhm,
are unaware, Twitter space is like it's like you could just join like a chat room per se, where it's
mhm,
like, let's say me and Noah are having a Twitter space, like there's like 500 people in there, but we could choose who's talking, and usually on Twitter, you could see what the Twitter space is. So it'd be like, this Twitter
Yeah,
space, we're talking about Henry Cavill. And it would be like me, Noah, talking about Henry Cavill. Noah would be like, oh yeah, he's so hot, blah blah blah. And there would be like 40
I'd
listeners.
never say that.
But I'm just giving you an example. I'm giving them a lighthearted example of how Twitter space works.
Yeah.
If they're unfamiliar with it. And so it was a lot of journalists in that Twitter space kind of just talking about the caption was something along the lines of like, why did Musk ban these people? It was something like that. I forget what it
Hmm.
was exactly. But they were clearly talking about how Musk is suspending all these accounts and he's like being very two-faced on free speech. So Musk, the fucking, the real life Tony Stark, the one who's gonna save humanity, um he joins the Twitter space for whatever fuck. Like, this guy is running billion-dollar companies. You would think he has better stuff to do at this time.
Oh,
Like
he
more
does it.
important, yeah, you would think he has more important things to do. He joins the Twitter space, starts talking shit to these journalists. These journalists clap back at him because they were
Mhm.
like, he was like, oh, they're doxing me. It's like, it's not fair. They're showing my real time information, and they're like essentially saying what I just said. Um, they're
Mhm.
like, he's doxing, like they weren't doxing you. They're reporting on the news. Like, what the hell's wrong with you? And they're just hitting him with these facts. He just dips out of the Twitter space and leaves.
Because he's a dumbass.
Yeah, and if you guys want to watch the full thing, um I know if you go to Philip DeFranco's TikTok account, he posted the video. It's his most recent video that he's posted as of recording this, and the caption or like the thumbnail for it, Elon Musk has meltdown when journalists start asking him questions. So that's the video right there. If you look at Philip DeFranco on TikTok, because that's the only place I know I could see it. I also retweeted it, so if you look somewhere on my Twitter, you could find it. But yeah, those are two places where you could find it.
I think what's also very interesting is that right after that, the European Union, the EU, threatened Elon with sanctions after he removed the journalists.
I
They're just
saw something about
uh
that.
apparently apparently Vera Jourova, the European Commission's vice president for values and transparency, said in a tweet, arbitrary suspension of journalists on Twitter is worrying. So I think it's interesting that, you know, Elon loves free speech, but only the free speech he likes. And basically the kind of fight is that his position is like this is doxing. Other people are like, well, this is public information, so this is a media, freedom of information. So it's just really interesting that he's just such a dumbass. I don't and it's like he's putting it under the guise of safety, but really he's just suppressing free speech that he says is so important, but clearly it's only important when it benefits him. So I don't know, man. Like this guy is I don't he's such a dumbass. And
Uh,
I think it's it's so funny because he said these suspensions are just kind of don't want to say the beginning of the end, but it's the beginning of the trends we should come to expect from Twitter from now on.
mhm.
Like we should start expecting people getting silenced, getting doxxed. I mean, wasn't Trump let back on the platform?
Yeah, he hasn't been using it though.
Oh, I believed he used it when he was promoting his NFT trading cards.
Oh wait, is that why it was blowing up?
Yeah, have you seen those?
I saw the NFT trading cards and I didn't really mind it much attention. I was just like, all right, but I didn't know that he hopped back on Twitter to fucking. Oh my god, I gotta look this shit up right now. Hold on.
He put them on. I'm pretty sure he put them on social media, definitely on Instagram, I think. But it's just so maybe not on Instagram, but it's just so funny that really is now the
Oh no,
time.
he still hasn't been using Twitter. No, 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 that wasn't
Okay,
on. Okay.
but it's just so funny because like is now really the time to do this? Like, is now the time to put like incredibly expensive digital trading cards? Like, what is wrong with you? Who's buying these? Who is getting this? I don't understand. I don't this is insane, and I don't even know why anyone would even want this. I guess you know what? If you're into NFTs, if you're into that like the token thing, if you're into that, then I love that for you.
I don't.
But
You should do something better with your time. Get out
well,
of
it's not my
NFTs with.
money. Not my money out here.
That is true. But I will shame. I will publicly shame any NFT owners.
You know, I will not fight you. But have you seen these trading cards?
I've seen one. I saw the actor who plays his Homelander.
Mhm.
He was like, "Oh, we got a new member of the boys,"
Oh
and
my
I
god.
originally thought because he's posted like like making fun of Trump, like some fan art of Trump as
Mhm.
like Homelander, and I thought that's what it was, just another meme. That was my first exposure to it, but now I'm finding out that this is a thing. Like this is really a thing.
And it's just you need if you guys have not seen Trump NFT trading cards, please look it up because it's so funny. Because like there's one where he's like ripped, there's one where he's like hunting. It's insane. And I can't even honestly, I'm very speechless today just because people are so fucking dumb. And it's just like I don't know. It's just there are around like 45,000 of these cards apparently, and apparently
hmm
they're available for $99 each.
uh,
It's not even like a booster pack. You get one for $99. And I can't with him anymore. Honestly, he's such a fucking joke.
yeah. That's why we gotta bully all millionaires and all billionaires. You know,
Let me tell you right now,
if
I
you have
think
more,
every
yeah,
mhm.
you have more than
Uh,
a $999,000 uh in your bank account, you're gonna get bullied. As soon as you get that 1 mil or above, I'm gonna bully you.
you know, I'm very neutral on the Purge movies, but sometimes they have a point.
Speaking of the purge, you know what I didn't know? Did you see
What?
the have you watched the Forever Purge? It was the
I
last
have
one in the
not.
franchise. It was good.
Is
I
it
enjoyed it.
is that the one where it's like it's one of the first purges?
No, it's where it's like the last purge.
Oh, gotcha. Is that the one where he has to protect the senator or something?
No. That's
That's like the second to the last in the purge timeline.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The Forever Purge, if I wanna if I'm not mistaken, the guy from Black Panther who plays as Namor is in it. I just thought that was
Oh,
cool. I'm
Tena
pretty sure.
Huerta, I love him.
Yeah, he's in the Forever Purge, I think. Let me look it up really quick.
Oh, he is. It's the one with the cowboy.
Yeah,
It's
he was one of the best parts of that movie.
it follows a group of people who attempt to escape from the United States after an insurrectionist movement continues committing crimes and murders nationwide. Oh, so this is after the purge, but people are still like, we're still gonna do it.
I don't remember. I don't all I know is
Mhm.
that this is supposed to be the last purge. Like that was in the timeline. Like in the movies and in the timeline, you know?
Yeah, I think it's the last one in the timeline.
Because the
But
way they end it, it's
mhm,
like they start like fighting back sort of thing.
I respect
Anyway,
that. Are those
anyways,
good movies? Should I watch those movies?
okay, so I've seen the first purge. The first purge is
Mhm,
pretty solid. Um the second purge is what I wanted the first purge to be.
mhm,
Uh I didn't watch any of them after that. It was just like it was one of those things that were just coming out at too much of a rapid pace for me to keep up with. Uh,
mhm.
but the Forever Purge, if you just want like a dumb, if you just want a movie where it's like people killing each other, like if you want to turn off your brain for a little bit, perfect
Mhm.
movie to go watch. You know, like
I'll keep that in mind.
don't take it too seriously. Just think of it as dumb fun action, and you
Mhm.
will enjoy yourself. Because
Y
I had actually like really liked it just because
mhm,
um I wasn't really thinking too hard about it. Like there's literally a line in the movie where
mhm,
I was like thank God they said that because I was forgetting the name of the movie. Because
mhm,
there's a lot of commentary for like Trumpians and stuff like that in this movie.
mhm.
Um, there's a part where it's like, yeah, this is the Forever Purge, and they like ride off on a motorcycle. I'm like, oh, okay. I was forgetting the name of the movie. Thank God they said that.
That just has I that's just I I think more movies would be funnier if they said the name of the title in the movie, like, in the middle of, let's say, like, in the mid like, you see Darth Vader and Luke fighting, and they're like, "Shh," and Luke's like, "I can't be defeated," and Darth Vader is just like, Yes, you can, because the Empire strikes back in this Star Wars. And then he just like chops, and then he chops off his head. God, it's like,
The Jedi's will return for the next Star Wars.
and Tony Stark is just like, we're the Avengers, and this is our end game. But you know the thing he does say we're in the end game, but it'd be funny if he was just like, we're the Avengers, and this is the end game. And I just need people aren't allowed to like. I haven't seen the new Avatar movie, but I hope in the Avatar one of the white guys playing a blue black coated person goes, "Uh, we sure are the Avatar way of water."
Oh my god.
Movies are bad. Do you know why?
Why?
Because of James Gunn, apparently.
Yeah, you see,
Let's talk about that. Let's talk.
you saw
Oh
what
my
happened on Twitter, right? Like the hashtag.
yeah. What is it? It's Fire James Gunn.
Yeah.
Let's talk
Here's
about it. Let's get into that. Let's get
okay.
into all that.
So this is kind of like a two for one
Mm,
thing. I I've been seeing a lot of like discourse on like a line on
mhm,
the line. And you sent me some stuff too where it's everyone was like, yeah, this is the Rock's fault. Which is I don't think is necessarily 100% true because that
mhm,
ship was already sinking. I think the Rock just was the straw that broke the camel's back sort of thing, you know?
mhm,
But yeah, I just feel bad for Henry Cavill, but then again he bounced back. That's the only
mhm.
millionaire I won't bully. Um
I'll
but
still bully him.
but yeah, I think this is what's needed. They just get rid of everything, you know?
They need a slate clean because it's just so messy.
Mhm.
Because with the Snyder cut and then with Black Adam and then Flash, and honestly, they just need a new round of actors. They need new stories. And I love the DC a lot. I'm a DC person at heart. And it's just like even the movies I like, I'm like, we can just cut it. We can just go home and start again. And I do feel bad for Henry Cavill because he well, this isn't official, but he basically gave up The Witcher to be Superman again, and then they were just like, you know what, we're good. Thank you though, thank you. It's like if you left a job to go to another job, and then when you got there, they're just like, ooh, actually, we're heading in a different direction. And you're just like, oh, I just quit my job though, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, but
Yeah, sucks to be you.
yeah, it sucks to be you. Maybe you shouldn't have quit that job, huh? I think that's funny. You know what? If we see a tweet from what's his face, not the Hemsworth, the other Hemsworth brother was filling in. I forget
Luke?
his name, Luke Hemsworth. He was just like, uh, for personal reasons, I'm stepping away from The Witcher. That's how you know they had a conversation where Henry Cavill, I'm coming back. I, I need the paycheck to pay for my Warhammer addiction.
You know, fucking shout out to Kevin, but always trying to
Shout out
get
to
us into
Kevin.
Warhammer.
And I'll say shout out to Jake because he also talks to me about Warhammer. So shout out to my friend Jake. But I have to say of this whole DC thing, the one character I'm actually going to miss is Viola Davis's Amanda Waller. This
I
sounds
saw
so
you tweet
weird.
that.
I just did. I she was one of my favorites. She was unhinged. She didn't give a fuck. She was Amanda Waller. And I hope the thing is, part of me is like, I hope they bring people back to do maybe reprise the same roles, but the moment they do that, the online fandom is just gonna be like, "Well, you brought this person back. Why don't you bring another person back?" And it's just it'll never end unless they cut everyone clean and just start new.
Yeah. Mhm. I agree.
And it's just it's what needs to be done. Shout out, they're probably not making that Black Canary movie. Shout
No,
out to
no.
my
Why do you keep
girl.
talking? You keep trying to put that out in the universe. That's not gonna happen.
I know it's not gonna happen. Honestly, it probably was
Just
never gonna happen, but I
listen,
don't care.
listen. Just be happy. Here's how much of a fucking annoying motherfucker you are. Okay, you ready for this?
I
You
feel like you're
always
just
you
waiting for a chance to say this. I feel like you're just waiting for
you're
that moment.
always talking about the most obscure heroes. You're like, I love me my B listers, my C listers,
I
yada yada yada.
do.
You haven't even fucking seen Black Adam yet. You haven't even seen the JSA with Dr. Fate and Adam Smasher and whatever the fuck her name is and Hawkman. Okay, you haven't even shown your support to Kowachi, but yet you're barking up a tree for Black Canary, which she was in a movie already. You
You know what?
got your Black Canary. Go support the JSA.
First of all, I want Stargirl, which is all about the JSA. So go screw yourself.
No, 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 no. I'm talking
Second of
about
all,
Black Adam.
second of all, I didn't watch Black Adam out of respect for you because I know you hate The Rock.
I went to go see it despite my
I
hatred
know,
for The Rock.
I know, but I disrespect you so much. I was like, I don't want to do that to my good friend Lewis.
Is that what happened, or it was just like,
I,
I'll get around to it, and you never got around to it?
I don't know what to tell you. I disrespect you so much.
Do you say you disrespect me so
No,
much? Yeah, I
disrespect.
know.
I disrespect you so much, you son of a bitch.
See, you're over here talking. We got Doctor Fate in the movie. Okay, when's the next time there's gonna be a Doctor Fate like live action
Oh,
adaptation? Never.
never,
There
never.
you go. Go watch
You know
that
what?
if you want to go see some fucking obscure heroes. Okay.
You know what? I'm gonna talk out of my ass right now because I haven't seen Black Adam. But you know what the biggest problem with Black Adam is?
All right. What's the biggest problem with
All
Black
right.
Adam?
The Rock's ego is so huge that it eclipses the scope of that film. Because if they had, because Black Adam is the name, it's the draw, it's the Rock's pet project basically. But if he had focused less on himself and more of the world he was creating and the characters around him, it would have been a more cohesive story. But instead, you just have this guy who, no offense to his acting, has no accent, feels like he doesn't put any like nuance into the role. He's just there, and it's just a shame. It's quite a shame because I feel like they could have had something special, but it kind of flopped. So it's a shame. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I was waiting for you to roast me. I was like, what is he gonna say?
No, no, that's pretty spot on. You know, you can
Mm.
say that about any rock project. Um,
I
I do
liked
find
those
it.
Jumanji movies he was
Yeah, the
in.
Jumanji movies are pretty cool. I like those. What's it called? Uh, I think it's funny how he unfollowed. Like, this is big news that he unfollowed like Black Adam and Warner Brothers and stuff on Instagram and I think Twitter as well. But
Oh, apparently that was fake.
that
I
was
don't know.
fake. Oh, okay, so that never happened.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
No, apparently the thing is that there are so many media accounts that gain traction, you never know what's, like, real and what's false.
Media literacy, baby. That's why you gotta look
Baby,
into it.
that's why we're journalists.
See, little stuff like that, I don't mind if I'm wrong. But
Mhm.
bigger stuff, I would never be wrong.
Would you want to see a DC universe that revolves around, um, what's his face? Twilight. Oh, no.
Robert
The
Pattinson?
Batman.
No,
Robert
no,
Pattinson.
not at all. I didn't like the Batman.
You didn't I know you didn't like the Batman, and I think it's interesting because they haven't announced anything about it.
Didn't they say a sequel's in the works?
Yeah, but there's been like no. Usually you see like casting news or like, oh, they're considering this villain, but it feels kind of quiet. So I'm kind of wondering, is this something that they're
Mm,
going to?
I
Are they
I
gonna swipe that claim too, or what?
I saw on a Twitter account, take this with a
Mhm,
grain of salt, but it sounds very plausible that the Joker, the Hakeem Phoenix Joker,
mhm,
and the Batman are just those are the ones that they're not gonna touch. They're just gonna leave
mhm.
those ones. So like here, if you go do your thing, you're off on your own. So I think those are safe, which makes sense because out of like all the DC movies, those are the two that universally everyone says is good and have made
Mhm.
them a fuck ton of money. So
Do you think he's gonna keep around, Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn, and John Cena Peacemaker, or you think he's gonna wipe them clean too?
I'd love to see more Peacemaker, especially
Mhm.
how after they ended it, that was one of the best shows of the year in my opinion.
It was a really good show.
Um, I don't think so. I think you got to be you know, no pun intended, but you stick to your guns. Um, you you get rid of everything. You know,
Mhm. I
start from the bottom up.
I kind of got that vibe too because Margot Robbie she put out the statement because people have been talking about Lady Gaga in the Harley Quinn as Harley Quinn
Rah.
in the Gaga in Joker 2, and she kind of put out a statement that was like, "Oh, well, I hope Harley Quinn
No,
is
do
kind
it
of
as
like
Harley.
Batman."
Say it as Harley.
I don't.
Come on. You do.
Uh,
There you go. There
you,
you
you
go.
know, I hope that I can't do it.
Come on,
I
come
can't.
on.
I'm
You
too
got it. You
embarrassed.
got it. Just bring it
Mr.
in.
J. Sorry, the first thing when you said do it like Harley Quinn, you brought me back to like an episode in Batman the Animated Series where the Joker becomes rich. It's called Joker's Millions. And Harley's just like, oh, he's gonna bust me out of Arkham any minute now. And he literally just hires a supermodel to like dress in Harley's clothes. And he's just like, and the supermodel is like, you're right, Mr. G. Ah! And that's how she laughs. That's how she laughs. It's
God.
just so when you told me to act like Harley, that's what came to mind
You
first.
immediately went to the bootleg and
Yeah,
Harley from one episode that never
literally,
pops up again.
exactly. And literally during the episode, she calls him Mr. G like several times instead of like Joker. It's just so funny. But she's basically Margot Robbie's like, oh, I hope Harley Quinn is like the Batman role in the sense that multiple actors can take it and do their own stuff with it.
That's
And
good.
I was
That's
like,
fair.
yeah, I do like that. And apparently Harley Quinn is one of the four pillars of DC. So I'm down for that. Why not?
What are the
Did you
four? Oh my god,
Yeah,
dude.
did you
That's
see that? On the They had a thing on the website where it was like the four featured characters, and it was Batman,
okay.
Superman, Wonder
Okay.
Woman, then Harley Quinn.
Yep. That's the four right there.
Hey, she sells. I don't know what to tell you.
That's the holy quad.
That's the holy four of the DC universe. I mean, hey, she was just on the Justice League team. Why not?
Yeah, but
The team failed, and the point of it is that it was going to fail, but still.
yeah, but that's yeah, okay, fair, whatever. You know, that's like saying fucking Beast Boy was on the Justice League for like one
Ugh,
issue.
I feel, you know what? I have a controversial Beast Boy opinion.
What? You always talking about your love for the Titans. Let's go ahead
I
and bash
do.
them.
The comic Beast Boy is bad. It's not a good character. The first introduction I had to comic Beast Boy was in the 2003 run, where he calls like a 16-year-old Cassie Sandsmark Wonder Girl hot, and
How
he's
old was
like
he
a
in the comic?
full. He's in like his mid-20s,
Ah,
and
yeah,
it's like that's the
uh,
first appear. That's the first thing I ever read of him.
yeah. I remember too. Like when I found out that my boy Hal Jordan's like a pedo, I'm like, oh man, why you gotta do that to him?
And it's just like, ugh, like the Teen Titans cartoon, great Beast Boy. Titans Beast Boy, Heart of Gold. Comic Beast Boy, I've never cared for him. I don't care about him. He can leave. So that's just my rant. I know this whole James Gunn DC thing just took an entirely different turn, but that's I end my my rant with Beast Boy in the comics is bad.
Okay, so to bring it back to Gunn,
Mm,
so he had said that he wants everything to focus around Superman, in
mm,
my opinion, as it should, you know, because like Superman is kind of like the big reason why a lot of things kick off. Um, and he wants to do like a younger Superman, so that's why they
mm,
gave Cavill the boot. Um, my question is to you: who would you have play a young Superman? Because this is probably going to be a role
mm.
that they're going to age into more, you know.
I think that's a really good question. I don't
And
have a
why is it
particular
Tom Holland?
I Tom Holland is just one of those guys everybody casts for everything.
He's the Chris Pratt. He's the new Chris Pratt.
He is. But I would like a relatively unknown actor. Like give me someone who's only had a couple roles.
John Boyega.
Honestly, why not? Fuck all the haters.
I just want to see
But
more, or Adam Driver.
mm,
One
Adam,
of,
no. How
give me
dare
one of
you?
the, give me one or the other, and I'm good. Okay,
I
they could
will
be
accept
Superman.
Adam Driver as Zod.
How about this? How about this? You have
Okay.
John Boyega as Lex Luthor and
Mhm.
Adam Driver as Superman, or you could flip the roles. I think they go good in either or.
Okay, I'm no. I
And
know that I'm not
you
gonna say.
have Daisy Ridley as Wonder Woman,
Why do you just
and
take
then
all the Star Wars
and
movies
then
and put them
Oscar
in DC?
Isaac as Mexican Batman. Well, not Mexican, Hispanic Batman.
Wait, no, why is that good though?
That's the
Yeah, I
only
think
one.
that
Yeah, that's the only one that's good.
just be like, "Hey, Oscar." And he's like, "Yeah, what's up?" You're just like, "Do you wanna be like the role's like Moonlight, but like good?" And he's like, "Oh my god, okay, fine, alright." Like, just tell him that, and he'll be down. But I think it's interesting because James Gunn tweeted everything returns to Twitter.
All
James Gunn
roads lead to
tweeted
Twitter.
that him and his partner, Peter Safran, who's like the producer half, he said that he and him already have a DC slate ready to go, and they're gonna be sharing glimpses of the first projects at the
Keep
beginning of the
talking
new
for a minute,
year.
okay?
Yeah, and I think that's interesting because, behind the scenes, things take time. Like we'll see tweets where it's like, "Oh, this is just announced," but the announcement, there's been work put into it. He could have spent months with like a board of creatives, like discussing like which characters are we going to hit first, how are we going to execute this. So I think sometimes we see this news and we're like, "What's going to happen?" This is already planned out. He probably already has a roster for like the first couple of movies. Who knows if it's gonna be like anything similar to how we did it before with like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Who knows what characters? And I think it'll be interesting because with this clean slate, they can kind of look at what's worked with the past movies, what storylines, what tones, what character traits, and hopefully they can take those and leave behind the less desirable ones that kind
I
of
didn't hear
made
a word
other
you just
movies
said,
really flop.
but
You know
I
what? That's our
agree.
friendship. That's our friendship.
I was talking to my girlfriend. She was leaving to work right now. So I was
Oh,
making sure I
okay.
said something to her before she left.
No, I was just saying that they probably already know what the first couple movies are gonna be, and I hope that they use the former movies as lessons of what works and what doesn't.
Mhm.
Like, if they could take, like, the storylines and characters and they're just like, "Okay, this works, let's include it more," and kind of ignore the less desirable traits of some of those movies, then I think that'll be a success.
You know what?
Mm.
I agree. I
You
concur.
know I am excited for a younger Superman.
Mhm.
Um,
'Cause that means you can see more like Farm Boy. I was about to say
yeah.
Farm Boy Luke, more like Farm Boy Superman and stuff.
I think the Henry Cavill Superman failed in the sense that at least me myself, I've never really gotten to know who Clark Kent is. And I think that's really important because Clark Kent, because there's that argument that like, oh, is it Batman or is it Bruce Wayne?
Mhm.
Is it like, but with Superman, it's always like he is Superman, but at the end of the day, he is Clark Kent, farm boy, raised in Kansas with a golden heart and believes in
Mhm.
hope. Like that's who he is. And I feel like we never really nailed that down as a character.
Yeah,
So I think
they went too
Mhm.
much into the gritty route of it.
So I'm down for that. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Okay, you know, since we're talking about that, who would you cast as a Wonder Woman?
Oh my gosh. Uh this is gonna sound really crazy, but you didn't watch Miss Marvel.
No, that's the Disney Plus show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. I need to cancel my Disney Plus subscription. I don't know why I still have it.
Yeah. Do you not use it?
Not really, no.
I respect that. Honestly, if you're not gonna use it, you might as well just get rid of it. But there was an actress, I'm gonna have to look up her name, but she played a really interesting version of like an ancestor of the
Mhm.
character of Miss Marvel, and I think should really be good. I think a woman of color as Wonder Woman might be interesting. I'm down for that.
Mhm.
And I think the thing about those movies is that I don't think there's anything wrong with the first one. The first one's enjoyable. Like it's not the best, but I think it's a really solid movie. But Wonder Woman 84 just is so bad. And I never want to see anything from there's a few things in that movie that work, but I just want to avoid it like the plague. So just let's do more first Wonder Woman vibes, ignore the second one. That'd be happy for me. But is there anything, are you kind of checked out, or is anything in the DC you're just like, oh, I'd love to see this?
Just because I wanna see my future ex-wife,
Mhm.
Supergirl. I just want to see just for her. That's it. I'm simping for
Oh
her.
yeah, I loved her.
That's
You
it.
know what? She is hot. I respect that.
Yeah, that's my future ex-wife because I could never. I can't hold her down for long. When she realizes that she's cuffed to me, she's like, "Oh, I could do better," and she's right.
She'll just looks at you and she's just like, you know, this day was gonna come.
I would just look at her and be like, "Yeah, you know, I won't even be mad about it. I'd be like, I got this far. It's further than I thought I'd be." But
You know,
yeah,
I respect that. That you
I
just
just want
like,
to.
I have to let you go.
Yeah, I just want to see it for her. That's it.
Oh, Sasha Kali. She is. You know
She's a
what?
QT.
I very much do not want to watch The Flash at all. But if there is a chance of me watching it, it'll be for her.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I'm watching it. And honestly, too, I do kind of feel bad for her because I did. Again, this is me just simping at this point, but
Mhm.
I remember I watched the interview clip where the director was like revealed to her that she got the role, and she was like jumping for joy and this and that, and I'm like, damn. I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like another like actor or a character or two they're gonna be
Mhm.
introduced in the Flash that were essentially promised like legacy roles. You know.
Ugh.
I kind of feel bad for those people who got like super excited. They're like, yeah, I get to be Cyborg. I get to be whoever, you know? Like, I don't know why Cyborg was the
Mhm.
first one that came to mind, but yeah.
I mean, it sucks what happened to Cyborg.
Mhm, yeah, exactly.
Like honestly, so many people have gone. We just really need that clean slate.
But you know what? I think we should.
Mhm.
I was originally gonna say as Batman, but the more I look at the picture, I was like, and this actually might work. We cast Christopher Judge as John Stewart, Green Lantern, but he only talks as Kratos with the Kratos voice as John Stewart. Tell me that would be fucking cool.
Beware of my Green Lantern's light. Just
Yeah.
like something like that. It's like, and then like he just looks at Superman. He's just like, boy. But you know what? Why not? Why not? And the thing about this is that now anything is possible, and the internet may get more chaotic and crazy. But we'll just it's a wait and see.
Yeah, but you know, we should wait and see when this episode is gonna come out because I don't know if this is gonna be out in time for Monday morning. But you will know, listener, because it will be out when it is out. And when
Mhm.
is that out? We don't know because we are living in the past.
No, I can't see the future.
But on that note, I think we are going to end the episode. Noah, I know I doxed you earlier, but where can people find you?
You can find me in the alley behind the 7-Eleven, and I will give you a free Trump NFT trading card. But you gotta
Hey, like,
ask me
hey,
nicely.
how are you gonna give it to them?
It's gonna be in I'm gonna have one of those big coin machines where you put in like 50 cents and then you
Mm-hmm.
push it and then a card slides out. Except when you push it, it's gonna be like a little like memory card that you have to plug into your computer and
You
then
know,
there'll be an
hold
NFT.
up, hold up. I think okay. All
Mhm,
jokes aside, I think this would be a cool concept if NFTs weren't such a fucking a
mhm,
waste. Like you could actually have it as a card, but like the
mhm.
QR code or something is very hyper specific.
Oh yeah,
And wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like it's an
that'd be
actual
interesting.
legitimate thing.
I mean, that just reminds me of how like if fun fact listeners, if you buy a Marvel comic, you can get a digital version of it for free.
Yeah,
So, like, if they had a thing where you buy cards and they have a code on them and you scan them with an app and then you have, like, a digital version of it, that'd be cool. Like, imagine if you were, like if you're into, like, Magic: The Gathering or Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! And you could scan them and then you could play them physically, but also you could play them online with the cards you have. Like, that'd be interesting.
yeah.
But, you know
I know you could
Mhm.
do that. Actually, Pokemon has that.
Do they?
Yeah, Pokemon. Every Pokemon card that you open has a QR code in it.
That's
So
pretty cool, I like that.
so you can and whatever was in that pack will be in like your virtual pack if you want to play
Mhm.
Pokemon online.
But speaking of Pokemon, I gotta go play, so let's end this
We got a
episode.
Pokemon Go to the polls.
Thank you. I was trying to transition out, but you did a much better job. I gotta go.
Okay, Noah, where can people find you online?
People can find me at Noah is Garcia on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find my photography work at Noah Garcia _photography on Instagram. And if you want to go to the Daily 49er and look up my name, even though I've written like 10 stories, only 2 stories will show up. So go ahead and read those stories. But Lewis, where can people find you?
So people can find me on Instagram and Twitter. Hold on, give me one. I'm just gonna keep talking for a minute. Da 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 da.
Welcome to a Family Guy.
People can find me on on Instagram, Twitter, and now people are going back to Hive at I'm Luis Gutierrez. And you can also find me on TikTok at I'm Joshua Joestar, where I have ran out of content to post. So what you see is what you get. But yeah, you can follow me there. And then also so you can find my work at IGN.com under the guide section. I am working on a guide for High on Life, and I'm going back and I'm helping out with some stuff for Sonic Frontiers again. And you can also find my work at GameSpot.com, where I do news and guides. But yeah, that's everywhere you can find me. Also, yeah, that's about it.
Bye.
Later.
You know, I've heard the buzz about Hive.
Oh, wait, are we still recorded?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying. I just wanted to make the pun.